I would say no. Let's keep it off because it chews up bandwidth. What do you need to see me for?
Okay, so you guys
Right.
want me to turn my video off as well?
No, you're fine because then we'll just have a black screen. So we're good. It's up to you.
All right.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's just the way that this is set up that it's kind of it's kind of a weird setup. It's going to it's going to be strange. It's not going to work out well. This
Well, you know what? Give me 2 seconds. I'm going to grab some more water.
Sure.
Be right back.
And
and
like I said,
I'll do an intro. So this is the second session of Fair Winds and Bloody Shores, a MYFAROG adventure, and this is DM Bloodworth, along with
Matt,
how do you say your name in the on the Facebook page?
Name?
Yeah,
Njall from
Yes.
Britannia.
All right, and we're also joined today by Peter from Facebook, who is playing the character Gunnar, and we're picking up where we left off. So where we left off with Fair Winds and Bloody Shores was that Heroic's character Njall was had just completed a combat sequence, ship-to-ship combat sequence, where he was like leading a small contingent of defenders on board a ship. There are three ships total. Welcome back, Peter. So there are three ships involved in this raiding party, and they were intercepted by a pirate hunter. Now, in the aftermath of that battle, as the three ships' captains come together, and you sink the opponent's ship during the combat. What your captains are doing now is they're just trying to reorganize and shuffle some of their crew members in order to enable all three ships to sail, to continue sailing on as much to capacity as possible. All right, and so during the interim, those few hours or so, as some minor ship repairs are made and some crew members are taken care of, they have their minor injuries or even more serious injuries taken a look at. Some of the crew of the attacking ship were either executed on the spot, depending on their standing, on their social standing, or taken captive amongst the three victorious ships. And so basically the way it is if they're of noble birth, then there's some value in keeping them as hostages, and so that's what's done in that case. And so now what we're preparing to do is to begin on the next leg of the journey. These three raider ships were sailing north by northeast, having departed out of Grain Meadow, Perthinio, and now they're moving, towards the north. You've learned, Njall, during the interim time that everything's being prepared, that there is like a specific raiding target that these ships are going towards. All right, there is a.
When you say these ships, is that our ships?
Yeah, your three ships. Yes. So you actually learn that your ships are heading towards the north, and you're going to be raiding a hall of a lord, another guy that that has been taking to sea and sending out his own raiding ships, and although he's not part of a town. He just has a hall and a small stronghold in you know in on the shore of one of the islands to your north. And so he's being taken out. It's basically almost like a pirate raid against a pirate.
These people have basically, we're not just raiding them for the sake of raiding them. It's kind of an act of vengeance and
Yeah,
controlling of
you don't know the exact motivation for the
yeah.
raid. You just know
But
that
they've wronged us somehow. They've been a problem for our area.
yeah, they could be simply competition in the same area, and so that's the point of this. If you recall, the the tribal group of Grand Meadow does not really get too involved with the politics, and they don't get involved with tribal wars, So this target here might be more so just an opportunity to remove a potential threat that is not attached to some other tribal
Gotcha.
group. So it's not going to spark at least it's not believed to, potentially spark a more widespread conflict between two tribes or two, regional areas. So
My character, upon seeing people captured or executed based upon their social standing, has a new goal, and that is to raise his social standing.
yeah, well, no, actually, he's a born nobleman. All right,
Okay.
so he's a born nobleman, and he's of a traditional life stance, and so he's probably seeing that as the way things are done. That's a very traditional.
Oh, that's okay. I
Yeah.
just want to make sure. So I am actually a born nobleman.
Yes.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah. So I mean, you're obviously the younger son of someone who is a landed noble, and what most do in their mid to late teens is they go out to kind of make their mark on the world.
Okay. I'm taking notes here. So.
Yeah, once you get the books tomorrow, you'll actually,
Exactly.
you'll actually kind of start digging into it and start learning some of the background, of the
Perfect.
things. So anyway, so let me pick up where you left off. So after the long and grueling combat with the hunters and their legionary leaders, what remains of your flotilla begins an unexpected cruise towards a distant shore. As the evening hours begin to pass by, you probably could use the rest. Torvik, in fact, Torvik is, for you, Peter, or I should say Gunnar, Torvik is the leader of this three-ship flotilla. He's known as Torvik Greyhand, and the reason why he's called Greyhand is because, quite uninspiredly, his hand is a strange, grayish coloring to it. You're not sure what is the actual cause of it or what, but his hand is obviously discolored gray, and that's where he got his name from. So Torvik, in fact, decides to remain on the shore to make some repair. So you're pushing towards the shore, all right, of an island that their navigators told them there's a place to make some repairs on the ships that cannot be done at sea. So you start heading, and making a slight diversion. All right, and it's the next morning. So your flotilla sets sail at the first signs of sunrise, and the weather and the wind conditions continue their cooperation. All right. The morning, however, does bring an unexpected an unexpected and unwelcomed vision on the horizon. So you hear a scream from one of the other ships. A horn call soon follow. And to your shock and awe, you see, for this first time, one of the lead ships, you see comes under attack. And all you see first is just like a watery wake, but nothing that's, there's no ship in the water that's producing it. All right. You can tell it's a large mass underneath the water creating the wake. And then the wake, the wake like goes underneath the ship, and you could see the ship kind of swells up and then comes back down again. And then it kind of settles out. And then the next thing you see is a tentacle lash out and grab a hold of one of the men off that ship.
Can I shoot at that tentacle?
You can. Yeah, your ships were kind of close together, and so with the range, you can, with your longbow, obviously you can, at least make some attempts to hit the target. It is still, a decent amount out of range, or to a more extreme range for you. So you're not going to get your full bonuses to hit.
How close am I?
Well, you're much further. I mean, it's almost at an extreme bow range. Your ship has to start moving in towards it.
And
I'll take a shot anyway.
Yeah, you can take a shot at it, and since you're Njall, you're like up in the rigging and everything. The captain starts calling out, orders and stuff.
Yeah.
So the very first thing that you're going to do is you're going to start using some of your seamanship abilities. All right, so you're going to make a seamanship check in order to test that you properly, activate the rigging. Your Gunnar, you're going to, along with some other archers, you're going to start moving towards the bow of the ship to start taking shots at the giant squid. All right, or Kraken. Yeah. Say again?
Is this a 3d6 roll?
Yes, you're doing a skill check under seamanship.
Okay, and what is my target?
Your target is an 8. It's a standard. Okay. It's a standard. Change the rigging to change direction of the ship rapidly, and to.
Eight exactly.
Okay. All right. So you modify the rigging, and I'll keep track of your. I'll keep track of your skill bonuses. So yes, you effectively change the rigging so that they can start cutting the ship into that direction and not lose any wind in doing so. So. All right, now Gunnar, you could roll initiative, but you're basically firing at at an opponent that's not really engaged with your ship, yet, so.
Okay.
I mean, it still gets initiative, but your initiative bonus, it only rolled a 3. And so your initiative bonus, even with the bow, is going to exceed that regardless of what you what you roll. So you'll be able to fire your missile.
Okay. So should I even roll for initiative, or it doesn't matter?
No, you don't need to, because it rolled pretty low.
Okay.
I mean, you could have only lost it, with possibly a 1.
Okay.
All right. Now, the other thing is
What do I
that you're rolling 3d6 against your ability, your attack ability. So your OVMI, is a plus. I believe it was a
Well,
+2. Yeah. So your
yeah,
OVMI is a +2. So you're rolling 3d6. You're going to get +2 to that, and that is going to be calculated against defensive its defensive value.
and I want to roll high or low.
You want to roll high.
Okay. So here's 3d6. And I rolled a 13 plus 2, 15.
All right, so you rolled a 15. So yes, you are going to hit that, and you roll a d6 for damage.
4. And I get +1 for strength, right?
Right.
So 5.
So you did 5 points of damage. So that's an 80.
I've got a good idea for rolling without dropping my dice. I'm having the die bucket, and I'm just going to turn it over.
All right, and so you did damage. Now we're going to check for. You're going to check for cut and shock. So your cut, like I said, is a minus. Like with your weapon type, is a -2 for cuts. So you're going to roll 3d6.
Oh, it's -2 because you told me 1 before.
Oh, maybe it's a -1.
It's yeah.
Yeah. So -1 for cut and shock. Let me double check that. Hold on. Your cut and shock for. Yeah, the longbow is. Yeah, for cut is -1 and +3 for shock. So.
I roll 3d6.
Yes, roll 3d6. So 3d6 -1.
Holy shit. I rolled a 11, 12 plus 5, 17, and -1, 16.
A 16. So there's no cut effect caused by your arrow.
Okay.
You want to actually roll low. That's why you have a minus. And your shock. You can roll your shock as well. So that's also a 3d6.
Low on that, I rolled a 5.
I'm sorry?
I rolled a 5 plus 3 stun, so I rolled an 8.
All right. So you rolled an 8, and that was a +3. So, you rolled a 5, so it's an 8 total.
Mm-hmm.
And so an 8. So an 8 on that would cause effectively like a knockdown. So you basically hit one of its tentacles and essentially knocked its tentacle down. And so
maybe the guy it was holding gets away.
or at least gets dropped into the water. So
I feel like Legolas.
So its modification for that particular, for the next round, its modification is that it's going to have a +1 to its. It's going to be easier to hit it now, because of that limping, slowed down tentacle. So you would be able to hit that tentacle the next round a little bit easier. You'll have an additional +1 to hit it.
Awesome.
All right, and now your ship is rapidly moving in, to try to engage this thing, and you see other tentacles, of this, of this Kraken rising up out of the water, and still like grabbing a hold of the ship and grabbing a hold of, men as it manages to get there. let's see, how many rounds will it take you to get within range? All right, it's going to be like 3 rounds before you're into melee range with this thing. Before you get closer, and the men on the ship are, obviously they're shooting down on it as well. All right, so you can, Gunnar, you can take another shot if that's what you wish to do.
Yeah. So I get +1 to hit. So I rolled 6, 9, +1 to hit 10. And what else do I get to my roll?
You're going to add your dexterity bonus to it, so that's another +2.
So I rolled an 11.
An 11. All right, and it's... Okay, so its DVMI is actually +5. So, yeah, you're going to hit it. It's very large, and so it's easy to actually hit it. You know what I'm saying? It's like,
right.
It's almost like you have an additional +5 to your attack rolls on it because of its huge size. It's quite easy to hit. So
here is my D6 damage. Wow, I rolled a 5 + 1, so 6.
Mm-hmm.
And now I got to roll the cut.
Yeah, you can go roll the cut.
And I rolled 12 minus 1 is 11.
An 11. All right, so that's no effect on cut. And
I'll roll the stun.
right.
Oh, I roll good on the stun again. 5, 6, +3 stun, 9.
9. So stun, cannot attack, and gets a -2 DVME. All right. So now it's a little bit vulnerable to the to melee attacks on it. So and you might have hit like a second tentacle, or possibly even that first one. So far you fired 2 very good arrow shots. Both of them stunning, or putting it to shock. At least this, if not the same tentacle, but possibly a second tentacle. And your ship is still racing in. You've also done, a considerable amount of damage. You've done 11 points of damage as well, which, is practically enough to kill a normal human being. But this is, a fairly large, creature.
Yeah.
All right. So 2 more rounds. What are you doing, Njall? You're still, up there in the rigging?
I have a question.
Yeah.
So you said that I successfully changed the rigging so that we're moving in that direction.
Yes, without losing wind.
Yeah.
So
how close is my ship to being able to engage?
Another 2 rounds.
Okay. And so obviously I'm on probably the furthest ship away.
You're probably not the furthest. You're probably the next closest ship away.
Okay.
So it went after the ship that was in. Remember, you were the middle ship. Even from previous, your ship was in the middle, and the Kraken had attacked the ship in the in the tail of the formation. So that's why you had to change the rigging to to cut a hard, to tack a hard turn and head towards the in order to engage the Kraken. Now, you're not thinking that your ship is, based on your seaman. Actually, you could both probably make seamanship rolls since you both have that skill. You you can make a seamanship roll, both of you.
Okay.
All right, so that's a 3d6.
All right.
Dude, I rolled good. I rolled a 14.
Okay. And seamanship, you're going to add any intelligence modifiers. So
Plus
I know,
0.
yeah, I know yours is a +0.
I got a 12.
So you got a 12. And do you have any modifiers? This wasn't a high, hard to roll thing anyway.
I have modifiers for charisma, constitution, and strength.
All right, so you still both make your seamanship checks, and you're assuming, Gunnar, you're assuming that your ship is just positioning itself to get more archers on target, and Njall, you're basing on your seamanship knowledge. You're basing that at some point the captain is most likely going to tell you to cut your sails, to slow your, to begin slowing your ship down. Because you're not looking to ram into this thing. You're looking to just get within better range for
The archer.
for the archers, and potentially, I mean, like anybody with longer range weapons such as spears or such. It depends on what the Kraken is going to do, if it's going to stay on its target or attack both ships simultaneously, or, I mean, at this stage, you don't even know if it's the only one.
My goal in this, if I have a little bit of time, is to put myself near the mast or a thing which is going to make it hard to grab me, just in case.
Okay, you would actually take yourself a little bit away from the railing in order to get a clean shot.
Okay.
If
there's any other defensive advantages I could get by positioning myself, I'm going to look for that.
Yeah, there's a railing, there's a railing that you're partially, secured, or if you did get attacked to, you could make an attempt to grab a hold of that, although you're not too sure if that would even be that helpful. I mean, you've seen men pulled off the ship by these tentacles, and it's like they pretty much do it very agilely, and there doesn't seem to be much preventing it other than the men hacking at the tentacles as they're coming in. You guys moving in closer now, you're going to get like your third attack, and then you'll actually start to see the body of this the body of the Kraken now, and so you can more selectively target the body at this point.
Okay, I'll do that then. So here's my roll. And I rolled an 11 plus 2, right? Is it?
All right, so that's a 13 plus its size. All right, so you're going to hit it. It's like at this range, it's like, and this thing is so huge that it's virtually impossible to miss.
Perfect.
It's like,
so here's my damage. 5 again, so 5 plus 1, 6.
All right. And then cut and shock.
Okay, cut. Shit. I rolled a 9, minus 1, 8.
All right, so that's going to cause a light
That's
bleeding.
A cut.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's going to cause a light bleeding.
I'll make sound
My
effects.
stun. my stun I rolled, I think, too high. 9, 10, 11, 12.
Yeah,
3,
no,
15.
that's not going to affect anything. All right. So you fired off your shot. Njall, you have to make a roll to, cut back or reduce on the sails because the captain does in fact order the ship to come to a slowdown.
This is another seamanship roll?
Yes.
All right. Wow, I think I got a critical success here.
All right.
My target's an 8, right?
Yes.
10 plus 16.
16. All right. So yeah.
Yeah.
So you did a critical success. So you not only bring the ship to a slowdown as the captain required, but it also allowed for the ship to maneuver, and now that your ship is close enough for the Kraken to engage your ship if it wishes to, you guys are going to get a bonus to initiative, because of that particular maneuver. So
Awesome.
Yay.
so now we're rolling initiative. You're still maintaining your bonuses for archery. You will get your bonuses for the spear. If you recall, it's a +4 for spears. All right. So it really doesn't matter which one of you rolls. So
Who's
so Peter, you can roll first and see what you got.
Okay. So I rolled an 11 plus. What am I using? My CX, right?
No, you're rolling 1d6.
Oh, 1d6.
Yeah,
I rolled a 6.
a 6. So it'll be a 6 plus your 6 plus your 4 plus your dexterity. So you roll like a 12.
Mm-hmm.
So you're going to go on 12. What do you roll, Njall?
well, I have a question. So we're attacking now, right?
Yes. Well, you're rolling initiative now.
Oh, and that's a 1, right? A D1?
It's a 1d6.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you're going to roll a 1d6 plus your dexterity bonus, if any, plus your spear, which is a +4 to it. So you're a total of a +5 on initiative. Yeah.
I got a 5 on the.
All right. So you're going to go on a 10.
Okay.
All right. So Gunnar, you're firing first now. Now you're in much closer range, and not that the range is really.
How does initiative work? Is it the higher the better, or the lower?
The higher the better. So you're a 12. Njall is a 10. And just so you understand the mechanics, the Kraken is on a 5. All right. So you two are going to get to go first, and then the Kraken will be able to react.
He's already been damaged twice.
Or three times actually. Yeah, he's already been damaged 3 times. Plus, that's just what what Gunnar has done. There's other people shooting at this thing.
All right. Here's my shot. So I rolled a 5, 6, 7, and then +2, right? So 9, and that's it.
Okay, so that's a 13. All right, let me see. All right, that's a normal hit. All right, so that's a normal hit. So you're going to do, base damage.
So I rolled a 2 + 1, 3.
Okay. And That didn't exceed enough to do cut and shock. I only do cut and shock on very exceptional hits.
Okay.
All right, so that was a bit, that was a general hit. So, all right, so what you can do now is you can finally attack Njall.
All right.
So it's 3d6 plus your melee. Yeah.
All right, so I've come down the rigging, and I'm gonna use my spear.
Yeah.
I have one question. This is a hypothetical, since I was originally up in the mast in the rigging. What would happen if I dove from that height into the water and did a diving strike?
You would probably, if it's hypothetical, you're probably thinking you'd probably end up dying.
Yeah,
It's,
if you're fighting the thing in the
Yeah.
sea, how are you gonna? You have no footing. You definitely want to fight it from.
yeah. You wanna just jab at this thing.
Okay. So a 3d6.
Yeah, 3d6 to attack
Determine
plus your
a hit.
strength bonus.
All right.
Your OVM ME is what you're using.
Okay. Let's see. 12.
All right. So with its
And that's a 13. 13 because of my strength bonus.
a 13, and its size is going to add. Wow, you're going to do a lot of damage on this. So you're going to get a total of a +6 to damage.
Okay. And I'm rolling which one?
You're rolling. Your spear is a D8.
Okay.
Spear is D8. I thought we wrote that on your sheet. It's a D8 plus.
Plus.
Let me
one.
double check. Yeah, is it a D8 plus? It's a D8 plus 1. Yes.
Okay. And that's what was that bonus I had? You mentioned.
It's just initiative bonus you get. Oh, you mean a
I know.
cut and shock? Cut and shock.
Because I rolled a 13
Oh, you got +6 damage.
plus 6. Okay. And that's added to my D8 plus 1.
Yes. So it's a D8 plus 7.
All right. That's it. One, but I guess D8 plus 7 makes it an 8.
An 8. Okay.
So 8 damage.
Wow, that's good.
Yeah, that's a lot. I mean, if it were against like a normal human being, you'd practically impale,
This guy
a
would have
civilian.
been dead long ago.
Oh yeah. This thing would have been dead already. And now that your guys are like closer up on it, you can see that it's been hit with quite a bit. I mean, it's damaged. Certainly damaged the ship that it's attacking. It's certainly killed some people. This is the 4th round, and it's practically killed one person per round. That it's been engaged with, but it's been, it's getting feathered and now pierced and chopped at, by the combined strength of the two ships. All right, let me just do a quick check and see.
Basically, right now, the Kraken is going, ow!
Yeah. So it is still like attacking the other ship and the other, crew members, even though your crew is now engaged with it. So it hasn't shifted, its focus yet, and it attacks that ship, and it grabs a hold of another person. It's close, but so it does grab another person, probably like one of the officers on that ship. Although you don't, like you see a person grabbed off of there. It wasn't someone along the railing, but it did grab a hold of, somebody else that you could see the captain on that ship starts directing everybody to really go at it now as it's flailing this guy in the air, around, and it just like flings him, and it's the next round. So you guys roll initiative again.
All right.
For initiative, we roll 1d6. I rolled a 6.
6.
Plus what?
It's a 6 plus. You were a 6 plus 6 again,
So
and
12.
yeah, so you're a 12, which is what you rolled last time.
No, but I only rolled a 5 last time.
Oh, so then it would be a 13. So you must be plus 7. All right, and then
I rolled a 6 as well.
yeah. Oh, you were plus 7 because of the. No, just leave it there. It's fine.
A 6 plus my strength modifier would be a 7.
Yes. So it rolled a 6. So, all right. All right. So now you guys are going to. You guys are going to make your attacks. Sorry, I was just doing some paperwork. So go ahead, Gunnar. You're going to make your next attack. You there, Gunnar?
Yeah.
All right.
So I rolled a 9 plus 2, 10, 11.
And because of its size, yeah, you're going to hit it again.
Okay.
All right.
And I rolled a 1 on damage plus 1, so 2.
So 2 points of damage. Okay. All right, and you go, Njall. You attack.
Okay. All right. And. 6 plus 6 plus a strength bonus, so 7.
No, that strength bonus doesn't go on damage. Was that no? That was your
I'm
attack.
for damage now.
No, wait.
Oh,
Were
wait,
you attacking or
Yeah.
you were attacking? So a 6 plus its. You're going to hit it.
Okay.
All right. So now you're rolling damage, and that's Yeah, it's a regular hit, so it's going to be D8 plus 1.
And then with my strength.
No, strength applies to hitting bonus, not to damage bonus.
Okay. Two. So 3. So 3
Okay.
damage.
3 damage. All right. So. All right. All right, it's still attacking the other ship. You both hit that round. It's still attacking the other ship. And it kills another crew member, grabs another crew member and drags them down below. It's still rocking and damaging the ship as well with its other tentacles. So it's, it seems to be, at least, killing one person per round. I mean, it almost doesn't, miss in doing that, and, between both ships, just, firing at it and trying to do, everything that it can. Now, Torvik's ship hasn't engaged yet. That was the lead ship. It was far off, or farther off than yours, but it should be in the area and ready to start attacking probably within 2 or 3 rounds as well. All right.
If I were wanting to speak to my captain and make a suggestion, how would it in the game? How would we go about that?
It would depend on what you're like. It's a pretty chaotic scene right now.
Would that be like a charisma roll?
I would do a.
I mean,
I would make a perception roll. Actually, yeah, make a perception roll.
That's 3d6.
3d6.
Most things, I guess, are 3d6.
Yeah, yeah. All skill checks are 3d6. And this is a bonus of intelligence, by the way.
I got an 8 on that perception.
So, I mean, you're really not sure that what you guys are doing isn't as much as you can do. You know what I'm saying? Like you don't have any kind of a brilliant idea, coming to your head. You're thinking you're just going to continue, slugging away at it, and the archers will continue shooting at it, and nothing really comes to mind as to what you could honestly do differently.
Okay.
All right. So
basically, if I had I had an idea in my head, like real world, but I would have had to have succeeded in that perception roll
in order to know to do something different, yes, than what's already being done.
That suggestion to the captain.
Yeah, or even just to, think, hey, what we're doing is not, a good idea. So let's say you had a great success at it. Whatever your idea would have had a bonus to being successful, when you actually put it into implementation, so that's kind of how characters having ideas, that become the player's idea, kind of works. It's like you have to make the roll in order to take your idea and apply it to your character.
Because what I was going to say is, if Torvik's ship is getting close, I was going to suggest to the captain that maybe Torvik's ship could lightly ram the Kraken, since we've damaged it several times, it's hurt, to maybe get more of it out of the water to open up a shot for Gunnar and I to possibly do more damage to the actual body. But that would have been my idea. Yeah,
you guys actually have, its body is visible. I mean, it's grabbing a hold of the other ship. It's its body is partly pulled out of the water, and you're able to get shots at its mass. So that's not an issue. It's just a huge thing. I mean, they can, a Kraken, even a small Kraken, can take a tremendous amount of damage. You're basically attacking something the size of a whale. I mean, it's big, and it's not. Its size is a +10. That's how big this thing is. So,
But we have heard it.
oh yeah, yeah. I mean, it has, it's bleeding from many different sources. Sources of injury and everything. You guys have, dished out, a tremendous amount of damage to it. You know, they're just very tough and fearless, you know, um, creatures. So we're going to go to initiative.
Okay.
It only rolled a 2, so we're just determining which one of you two actually go first.
And I roll a d6. I forget the initiative calculation again.
It's a +6.
4 plus 1, so I'm a 5.
7.
You rolled a 7. All right.
And so, I'm a 5 with my +1.
All right, so a 7, a 5, and it's going on a 2. All right, so
time to step out for just a second.
Yeah, go right ahead.
Here, I'll roll for my attack.
Yeah.
Oh, I rolled pretty good again. So 9, 10, 11, 12, plus 2, 13, 14.
So a 14 plus your bonuses because of its size. You basically rolled like a 19. And let's see.
I'll roll my d6 for damage.
You're going to roll the d6 for damage, and it is going to be... That's an exceptional... So you're going to do an extra... You're going to do an extra 6 points of damage with that.
Oh, wow. Well, I rolled a 6. Plus 6 is 12. Plus...
6 because of the quality.
Oh, yeah. Plus 1 for strength.
Mm-hmm.
So that's 13.
Right.
I rolled a 6 plus 6 plus 1, so 13.
All right. So 13 points. All right. You could describe that, you could describe that hit. I mean, let's see if it did cut and bleed. So
Okay.
roll on
Cut.
Cut is -1 on the roll.
Oh, I rolled awesome. I rolled a 7, so I rolled a 6.
So that's going to cause a medium bleed.
And then on my stun, I rolled terrible. 13 plus 3, 16.
No, so that's not. So,
Okay.
but so you hit this thing with an arrow hit that does a total of 14 points of damage, which is huge. All right. Plus a medium bleed. So it's a nice... you want to describe that arrow hit?
Sure, I sink it right into... Well, I know I can't hit specifics like its eye, but I want to hit it like in the head or something.
All right.
Stick an arrow right into its face.
You could, like, with that hit, I mean, you basically rolled a 19. So with that hit and everything, you probably did hit it in the eye. All right. The eye is huge anyway, so it's not like it's a very small target. An eye on a giant squid is probably, larger than a person's torso. So yeah, you could definitely lodge it into the eye. It caused a medium bleeding wound. It did 14 points of overall damage, which would be enough to kill a fairly hardy individual. So yeah, it was a definite, a great shot, like right into it. Certainly, you're thinking it's going to catch its attention. All right, and now you go, Njall.
All right. And I'm rolling for the 3d6 for hit.
Yes.
Right. We have 10 plus my strength bonus, 11.
11 plus, so you definitely hit, and you hit for your modification, because of its size, as you hit well above what's needed. It's like a perfect hit.
Okay.
So
Ooh.
you're going to do an additional 10 points of damage with that.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
So D8 plus 1.
Yeah, D8 plus 1.
Mm, 3. It was a
Alright.
2 with my plus 1.
Yeah. So a 3 total?
Yeah.
3 total plus the 10, so that's 13 points total.
Wow.
All right, so, and then you can do cut and bleed.
Okay. And that's also a 3d6.
Yes.
Alright.
And you have a -1 for your spear, so.
Let's see, I got a 13.
All right, that's going to be no effect.
Alright.
All right, so let me paint you this picture now. So Gunnar takes a very specific shot, catches it right in the eye. All right, that certainly draws its attention away from the other ship, and then you thrust your spear, with great precision, into it as well, and you notice that it immediately, like, just pulls back under the water, and leaving a streak of blood that's like a huge pool up and around both of these ships here, and it's obviously it's either fled off to the bottom to die, or it's just fled off, but it breaks off. Yeah.
Wow. How many guys did we lose?
That one, two, three. The other ship lost probably about 12 people.
Wow.
So that and that other ship is pretty, is damaged pretty much. I mean, your two ships, as they finally, like, Torvik's ship finally finally gets into the area as the thing runs off, because that's been like 2 rounds, and that was about the time that it was going to take to actually engage. And, as the ship comes closer in, and you can actually hear Torvik on the other ship hollering and screaming, at the crew, and hollering at the guys in the rigging and everything, and he appears to be kind of like really pissed off, but things start to settle down. You have to start. Some of your crew actually goes on to the damaged ship to try to make some like fast repairs on it and everything, but that ship is sinking. Yeah, that ship is actually started to go down, and the surviving crew goes on to the other 2 ships as as that ship, within probably like an hour and a half of the 3 ships sitting there, that ship finally sinks down. And now the crews are on just these 2 ships now.
Awesome.
And, Torvik is, Torvik is really pissed off at his, at his crew, because they didn't manage to get there in time to actually engage in the combat themselves. So he's pissed that they didn't rig and change direction fast enough in order to engage.
I'm going to be jumping up and down and celebrating with my bow in my hand.
Yeah, you guys did a great job and everything, and so now you guys start heading in towards the shore, so that they can, take better care of the people that are injured. He's also upset that one of the first mate of the other ship was actually killed. All right. It was darn close to being the captain, but it was, the mate was killed. So he was pissed off about that as well. And now your raiding party is minimally probably between the first combat and this combat here, between the three ships, you're probably about 30 raiders short of where you originally started with.
So can we assume that we were able to get that heavily damaged ship back to the small island before it sank?
The other no, that ship went down. I mean, the other two ships still have some minor repairs to do, but that was the more damaged ship. That's why it was trailing behind.
Yeah.
And and now that ship is gone, totally lost.
Did the men who were aboard trying to save it, did they just kind of distribute themselves to the other ships?
Yeah, they're both. Yeah, that crew of that ship, along with its wounded and its other crew members, have been distributed to the other two ships, your ship and the other ship.
So basically, you have two large crews.
Yeah, you have two. Well, there's some depletion, but yes, you have two larger crews than what you started out with.
All right.
Yeah, your combined ships have lost. You've lost probably about 30% of your.
Wow.
Of your starting between the two combats, you've lost about 30% of your overall complement of raiders.
Wow, it's tough.
Yeah, it's not been a very successful. Even though you survived the two combats, it's not been as a raid. It hasn't been very successful.
Right.
All right, so you guys finally pull into the. It's now the evening, and you guys are pulling into a small island where the ships can kind of come somewhat closer to shore, drop anchor, and the crews are able to, either, go to shore, pick up some supplies, do some repairs on the ships as they're sitting there. And if the ship is going to, if the ship does flounder, it's not in deep enough water that it will sink beyond where, as the tides go out, they'll be able to do even more repairs. But you are going to be here for, quite a bit. Trying to make both ships as seaworthy as possible, because
Okay.
If the fear is that if you engage anything else, that might further reduce your chances of having a successful raid. So you guys are sitting around around like a beach fire, eating, resting, chatting. Any social interactions that you guys are going to do? I know that you're a singer.
Yeah, I'll probably try to sing a tale of the pike.
Okay, yeah. I mean that would be cool. So you could try to put together a write a little song or something like that. Even though you're not quite a bard, you
Right.
can at least attempt to put together a pretty cool little
Okay.
little thing.
How do I do that?
You're going to make You're gonna make a singing roll, so one to
I'll
come
try
up with.
to also, if I can enhance that, I'll try to use my charisma to come up with something that will lift the morale of the men.
Okay, so what you're gonna do is you can do a social skills as an untrained thing is charisma -2. All right, but you have a high charisma, so what you could do is you'll check under charisma there. Your
I'll do
singing
that
is
first.
intelligence, so your charisma with the pluses is probably higher than your intelligence anyway. Oh yeah, it's a lot higher, right?
Yeah.
So use your charisma instead.
Okay. So I'll just get +1 to my singing roll.
Yes.
Okay. And I rolled pretty badly. So 5, 6.
so so that just didn't cut it. It came off like
Okay.
you know,
Next time.
I'm not going to say that it was actually like insulting because it wasn't like a critical failure. They're not going to,
It wasn't good.
they're not going to string you up for such a stupid song, but there's a reason why you're not a bard.
It wasn't good.
Yeah, they probably tell you have a few more drinks and sleep it off, rather than that. So, and Njall, what's your guy up to while he's sitting there at the campfire?
Well, after he finishes his song, I take this opportunity to find him alone and confront him and just shake his hand and personally congratulate him on his spectacular
Archery skills.
Yes.
Awesome. Well, I'll congratulate him on his excellent seamanship skills
Yeah.
to get the boat.
Yeah.
So-
So what would that be, like a charisma roll?
No,
or
you don't
is that
have to.
just
You don't have to
Alright.
with another player character. So yeah. So I mean, like, you congratulate each other. You're sitting around. I mean, at least you two performed well. In battle. So that's a good thing. And again, like these. Although this battle here was a little bit harder for your captain to truly take notice, but the fact that the other ship did not get there in time, Torvik's ship didn't get there in time, but yours did. I mean, you're not sure if that got to Torvik, that it was your rigging, your seamanship that actually helped that out, or not.
then
But
both of us
but
performing well.
it's certainly you're not as blatantly on his shit list as the guys that were on his own ship. All right,
Yeah.
so I'm just doing a. Actually, why don't you both make a... I want you both to make a charisma or seamanship check.
Okay.
All right, so whichever is higher.
Oh, I determined I have the seamanship skill. It's just +0 due to intelligence, though, right?
Yeah, it's a straight intelligence roll for you because it is trained.
And then charisma would be what? It's +1.
Yeah, it's a +1.
Okay, so I'll do the charisma roll. 3,
Edward,
6,
while
9,
he's-
10.
A 10? All right, that passes. And yours, Njall?
In our last session, I had mentioned that I kind of, as a role of etiquette, thought that I should try to introduce myself to Torvik, and
All right.
since I was a new recruit, and I'm wondering, is Gunnar also a fairly new recruit?
Yeah, he was probably picked up. He was probably picked up along in the town as well. So yes.
Okay.
Um,
So, what if it may not be this turn or this round, but would it be a good idea for me to suggest to Gunnar that we go and introduce ourselves to the
Oh no, I
captain?
agree. I definitely want to do that. Good
yeah.
idea.
So make your check as well, Njall. You make your roll, and
All right.
you're going for an 8 plus 1. So.
Well, I got a 16
Oh my
plus
gosh! All
1,
right.
17.
All right. So. Yeah. So you work up the you work up the courage, and you think that it might be a good opportunity for the two of you to go over and talk to Torvik, and so his his beach fire is obviously it's a little bit bigger, and there's more people milling here and there about, and you can see the you see the other two captains are sitting with him, and so you two approach, and as you get closer, the your captain turns to Torvik, and he says, "This is the," and he points to you, Njall. He says, "This is the man I was telling you about." And he says, "I'm assuming his friend is the archer that put the arrow into the Kraken's eye."
I'll definitely
And
say I am.
it's like, so Torvik actually invites you both to sit at the fire, and he tells one of his mates, and they bring you some some food and a big cup of rum, so you have or whatever they would be drinking, whatever alcohol, probably you know a strong mead or something, so yeah, they bring you some strong drink and some good food that they had foraged out, so they probably killed some wild animals and brought it in for the cooking fires. And Torvik actually says to the other captain, he says, "Well, since we had to combine up crews," he says, "I'm pretty dissatisfied with with what my riggers were doing." He says, "You've made the mistake." He's talking to your captain. He says, "You've made the mistake of pointing out your strengths, when I'm looking to replace my weaknesses." He said. So he then turns to you two and he says, "You two will be on my ship now."
Oh shit. Okay.
So, and then they continue like talking about like the redistribution of the thing and of the crews, and Torvik is like under no circumstances look like he's willing to turn back despite the losses. He was like he's kind of saying by the gods, what's the chances of coming across another Kraken? He says,
All right.
that's the kind of thing that one can't expect. And I mean, perhaps if he was of a sutra life stance, a religious life stance, he would see it as a sign to turn back. But he's traditional as well, and he kind of chalks it up to just a bad stroke of luck. And
Okay.
he says we're less than 12 hours away from from our target in sailing. If the weather holds out and and our ships get underway at near full speed, he said. So we'll spend this evening resting, repairing, and then tomorrow late morning we will set sail again.
Okay.
All right, so you guys, let me. All right. So the next morning, all right, you guys are back on. You're off the beaches. You're back on the ships, and now you're setting sail. And if the captain were, correct in the assessment, you should be reaching your destination within a 12-hour span of travel time. So what you're going to do now is, so you're on his ship now, both of you, and so now you're going to do your checks. So you're going to do your seamanship, since you're his new rigger. So that's Njall, yeah.
Yeah. Uh, 9, 11. Do I have any modifiers? I rolled an 11. Do I have
No,
any
that's fine.
modifiers?
That's good.
This
Yeah,
guy's a hard man. He's like a manager at UPS.
So, yeah, no. So you made your check, and the you managed the rigging fine, and it's clear skies, a southerly wind. Temperature's a little bit cooler than when you first set out. So the southerly wind is bringing is pushing you guys further northward. And as you're moving further northward, the temperature is dropping. It's a light breeze. And this first 6 hours, you don't actually encounter anything. You don't see any ships on the horizon, no bloody Kraken, nothing, nothing that you were, really searching for. Luckily, nothing encountered for the first 6 hours. All right, so once again, second 6 hours, and this will bring you into the early evening. So you're going to make another navigation check. Not navigation, I mean seamanship check.
Me?
Yeah, you. Yeah, since you're the primary rigger, your roles are the ones that actually are going to impact the outcome.
All right. See, another 11.
Okay. And once again, so the next 6 hours pass. It's still clear skies. The wind is coming a bit from the east. It's still a light breeze. All right. So the winds have changed in the last hour or so. So the winds are coming from the east. So it's pushing it's guiding your ship a little bit westward now. If you're going to move with the wind. And once again, it kind of makes sense that the temperature's not because you're getting through you're getting through the midday, so it's probably about 4 degrees warmer, in the early afternoon, early or late afternoon, early part of the evening than it was, back in the morning. So, and you start pushing, closer towards west, which is, both by wind and by design, because the captain tells you to start making your way in westward, and in the early evening hours, you could start to see an outline of a shoreline, of a fairly mountainous island landscape ahead of you. So you guys are making in for the shore, at this point.
Awesome. Hey, I probably got to bail pretty soon because I got another game to prepare for.
Yeah. So we're going to. I know we're going to. We can actually wrap it up here.
Okay.
Okay, cool.
Because
I
and
thought it
then
was cool.
yeah,
I'd like to try
we
it.
could wrap it up here, and we'll do a third session because and once again, our sessions are, you're getting a major, a combat, a travel, a social, a learning experience, and we are naturally like, kind of breaking at points where it makes sense to stop. And
Perfect.
so, and then it'll give us a chance to test this out, the recording as well.
I'll be
So,
more read up on the system for next time too.
yeah, because, I mean, you'll have your books by tomorrow,
Yeah.
and I'm free to run games. I'm working Tuesday and Wednesday, so we could shoot for anything. Uh, we could shoot for anything Thursday, Friday, Saturday,
Thursdays are
Sunday.
terrible
Yeah,
for me. Yeah.
yeah. So we
Thursdays
could
are
shoot for
okay.
anything because I'm not working, the remainder of the week after Tuesday and Wednesday.
Okay.
So, all right, guys. Well, thanks a
Awesome.
lot,
That was
and thanks
fun.
for I'm glad to introduce you to this. Hopefully next time, Njall, I don't know, like the next time if you're going to be on a computer or not, but
I
maybe we,
think that I'm planning to be, yes.
yeah. So if you're on a computer, then maybe we'll be able to get something set up with Roll D20 or
Yeah.
Roll 20, I should say, Roll 20 or something that's just a better presentation than this
Facebook.
messenger,
Yeah.
Facebook Messenger, is not quite, you know, Google Hangouts. But I think ultimately we'd be best on D20. Roll
Okay.
Yeah.
D20 or Roll 20. I keep on saying
Should we
D20.
calculate our XP real quick?
So calculating XP, we played for 2 hours. So, I mean, basically, the way it works is unless you've had like any kind of catastrophic failures or, and actually, Varge just recently produced
Yeah, I
a
saw that.
runoff of that. You get more experience points from failure. Then I think that, and you can always, we can always talk about it later. I think that 100 experience points per hour of gameplay is actually a good balance. That way we don't have to really
Okay.
nitpick over, well, you made this many successful rolls, this many exceptional rolls, or
Right.
whatever,
No, that's
you
great.
know. So, and then I always add an extra 50 points for an extra 50 points for role playing, and so I think that it's fairly, it's fair to say 250
Okay.
Okay.
for this, and really once we
What about
finish
for
up
our
this,
checks?
say again.
What about for our checks and our combat rounds?
Well, that's what I'm saying
Or
is
he's
that,
combining it.
yeah, I'm just combining it up. I'm kind of looking at it holistically.
Yeah.
Holistically, I think it's safe to say, 100 points per hour is a good way to kind of
Right.
bring
So you
all of
did
those
250.
different things together so we don't have to, check off,
Yeah.
oh, you made 10 rolls here, you made,
I
you know,
don't do that either, man. I
7
just
high
keep people,
quality.
yeah.
I
Yeah.
think that we could just focus on, the the general flow,
Okay.
completing components of the story,
All right.
successfully as opposed to individual skill checks, unless something extraordinary happens.
Right.
This is basically so that he can go ahead and wrap up. If we had more time, all of us, then we could perhaps look at actual successes and
Yeah,
stuff
like
like that.
I double check. So like I looked at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I mean, you both had about 10 successful skill checks between combat and other skill checks. And
Right.
even if I did 25 points per check, you're still looking at 250.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
It's
saying?
much better
So
to just average it out than to have all that detailed accounting.
yeah, because I actually did, a detailed or somewhat detailed accounting. Like I did seamanship, attack, social, in Gunnar's case, it was seamanship, attack, social, so there was, and I might have missed one here or there, in
Right.
keeping track, but overall you did about 10 successful rolls each.
Right.
So
Perfect.
basically, for all of
Wow.
our checks, our
I gotta
10
go,
rolls
though.
each,
Mm-hmm.
we're
Yeah,
we're basically just chalking it up to 250 for
Yeah.
those.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
about
then you said also for just the successful completion of an overall session. I think when we talked, you said like 200 for that.
yeah, but
Something
I
like
think
that?
that's going to put you over. Like if I do that, it would put us over the 250. I
Right.
mean
Yeah.
the
I
1,000
gotta
per.
go though. I
Yeah,
do gotta go. I gotta
yeah.
prep for
We'll
that
talk
other
about it.
session.
We'll talk about it afterwards. But
Perfect. You
and
guys can continue
it's
on.
actually my wife's birthday also, so
Oh wow, yeah.
it'd be nice to break away and see what our plans are for later.
All right, take it easy, guys. It was
All right.
fun.
Nice meeting you.
Okay, bye.
Okay. Have a good one. Thanks a lot for coming in, Pete.
So for this one, we're not going to do like an actual XP number for the completing of the session.
No, what I'll do, I'll take a look at it and I'll see because you got 300 the last time, right?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, so 550. I'll take a look at the rules and see what 550 does, and we'll go from there, okay?
Okay.
And then
I
I'll
would be
take a look
totally
at
okay.
to see what 550 experience points would be able to do for you, and then we'll shift from there.
I'd be totally okay if you wanted to for a successful completion if you wanted to lower that to like whatever you wanted to lower it to like 50 or 100 or whatever you want.
Right. Yeah, I'll work on it. Like I said, I'll take a look and see what you can do with those.
Okay.
And
So right now I should just work with my 250.
well, now you have a total of 550 to play with until I get back. Like I said, I'll take a look at the book and see what you can actually do with 550 experience points.
Where did the 550 come from? How did I go
Because
from 250 to 550?
no, the first session you did, you got 300.
Okay. Oh, so this is total.
This is total 550 now.
So for
Total
this session
for the two
alone,
sessions.
though,
Yes.
I'm adding 250.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Thanks.
All right. You have a good one.
You too.
All right. So let me close this. Okay. So for the viewers watching this episode of Unscripted and Unchained, this was MYFAROG, Fair Winds and Bloody Shores, episode 2. And as you can see, there's some challenges with playing using just the Messenger, Facebook Messenger video as opposed to others. So enjoy watching and continue gaming. Have a good one.